this last. Alright. So the worksheet that I just gave you is decimals, right? The first and most important rule of decimals is always to line them up. So it doesn't matter what the number is. So if I throw out 6.73 plus 4 plus 0.6, I don't know, 89, right? This is kind of like expanded form that we were working with before. But I'm going to line up the decimals. Where does the decimal go every time it's for a number that doesn't have one in it already? At the very end on the right, right? So you just go ahead and throw that in there. So that means I'm going to put my decimal in. 4. My next is 0.689. So I'm going to throw in some zeros to line this up a little bit better. Did my number change at all with those zeros? No. Going to go straight down. 0 plus 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 plus 0 plus 8 is 11. Carry my 1, right? 7 plus 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Carry my 1. Do you want me to bring down my decimal already? Okay. Decimal goes straight down. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. That's my answer. And like he pointed out, the decimal goes straight down. So like I said, the most important step is to line it up because the decimal goes straight down. It doesn't matter how big or small the number is. You always, always line up the decimals, and you always, always just carry everything straight down. If you need to fill in with some zeros to make sure everything's lined up, do so. So the process does not change with the subtraction problem. So if I look at our worksheet here, I'll start with the one that has 390 in the top right-hand corner. All right, I've got 390 and 55 hundredths minus 188 and 48 hundredths. Where do I start? Right-hand side. Right-hand side. Can I take 8 from 5? No. No. What do I do? Crop this out. Put a 6 up there.
Make it 4.
Make it 4, right? So now I've got 15 minus 8. What's 15 minus 8? 6. Now I've got 4 minus 4. Do I need to borrow anymore?
No.
This is a big thing that I've been seeing. People are borrowing when they don't need to. If the number on top is bigger, so bigger, I'll make this really easy, smaller, right? Never borrow. Ever. Never, ever, ever. But I've seen that a lot. A whole lot. Now, if the number on top is smaller, you borrow. You borrow. If you need to write that down, then do so. Okay? But if you have 8, and I want you to give me 6, do you have to borrow from your neighbor to give me any? No. Yes. Right here? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll continue this one. All right, so 4 minus 4 is? 0. Can I subtract 8 from 0?
No.
What do I do? Right. Notice how I'm only going one step at a time. That's something else that I think a lot of people might be getting confused on because they're taking it all the way across as if the whole thing was zeros on top and trying to borrow from the ends when they don't need to. So I go one step. 0 minus 8. Can't do it. I borrow from the 9. 10 minus 8 now is 2. Okay? 8 minus 8? 0. 0. 3 minus 1? 2. My answer is 202 and 6 hundredths. What's supposed to be 7? Oh, you mean here?
That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, that's what you were telling me. You gotta like, Kristen, shut up. Alright, it's still recording, so we got that on tape. Like I said, it's for you guys, it doesn't matter. It'll be on my YouTube. Alright, speaking of, if you do not remember my YouTube it is L-A-G-A-I-L, the number 4. So if you want to make that like a big L, just to make sure. So shortly, this video with this stuff will be on my YouTube. And you can all see how crazy I am. The other ones are like me at home, like, hi, everybody.
I know, I seen last night, looking at it last night.
You stalking me?
No,
Greg's like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because she didn't say anything about some videos on there before. Woo! Okay. But, good. See, we're all awake now. We're good. Oh, you know I hate mornings. Virginia's like a mirror.
I ain't got no coffee. I can't function.
I got my sweet tea. I need it to live. Okay. But so, did I go all the way through and borrow?
No.
No. Could I have?
No.
If I was feeling frisky. I mean, I could have noticed that at least one of those I was going to have to borrow, right? Because 0 is automatically smaller than 8. Like, that's not something that's even going to come close. So I could have done that one. But at the same time, if I would have, what if I was, like, got ahead of myself and made this 14? Well, then I would have to borrow from this, and that would have been smaller, blah, 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 blah. So it is very, very, very important, notice my very, that we go one step at a time. This comes back to when I told you where you don't have to show me your work. If you borrow something, as long as your answer is right every time. If your answer is not right every time, what is it going to do? It'll make me upset, right? It's going to upset me. I'm going to spider monkey somebody. And it's not going to be pretty. I'll be very upset. Because I see it. I see that you know how to do it, but at the same time I see where everybody's making specific mistakes at the same time. Not the same mistake, but everybody is making that same mistake, that one that they particularly make, every time. One person has randomly decided to stop borrowing when they get to this number. I don't know why, but they've just decided to. Alright, I got another person that just keeps borrowing no matter what. They just keep borrowing. And I'm, huh? I didn't say you.
No, I'm just saying, I know.
I'm just looking at you because you were late. Just making sure you're paying attention. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So is this any different from the subtraction we did last week? Not really, right? Now these ones are already lined up. So if I wrote it long ways, remember we had those addition problems and the subtraction problems where they were written like this? So if I go on to the next one, I've got 940 and 1400 minus 699 and 5100. Right? Even if it's written out this way, even if it was 100 miles, that way long and the other one's 100 miles that way, or 100 numbers, it doesn't matter. Always, always line the decimal up. Okay? Whatever number is written first goes on top. Top minus bottom. So I've got 940 and 1400, 699 and 5100. Can I subtract 1 from 4? Notice how... 1 from 4. Notice how I said that. On your ECAs and stuff like that, you will have things written out in words. What is another word for subtract? Minus. If you do not know that, write that down. Or just plan on watching this later. Another word for subtraction is minus. So when I say 4 minus 1, that means I'm taking 1 from 4. Okay? So I've got 4 pixie sticks, and I take 1 away to go, pixie it up. From. I think some people might be getting confused on that. But whatever number's on the bottom, you are taking from the number up top. So 4 minus 1 is 3. What's 1 minus 5? Come again.
You can't do it, you have to go and borrow.
I gotta borrow, right?
Yes. That becomes.
I go over 3, make that a 10, mark it out, make it a 9. Now I've got 11 minus 5 is? Decimal straight down. 9 minus 9, 0. 3 minus 9, can't do it, so I have to borrow again, right? There's my 8, I make that a 13. 13 minus 9, 8 minus 6. My final answer, 240 and 63 hundredths. Is my wording changing from the first time when we were doing word form? No. So if you have not yet picked up on that, pay attention to how I'm saying it. Okay? Because we won't have those big, long, drawn-out versions, right? But we will still have the short versions. We will still have the hundredths and the thousands. Remember, everything to the right has that TH. Everything to the left doesn't. Okay. Did anybody have any problems with any of these specifically? Like it just threw them for a loop or they got confused? I know you don't have one yet. So here's yours. Oh. Well, you said you didn't have any coffee.
That's from the other day. When I was here, it was in my bag.
Let's see. Let's see what's zeros. Okay, so towards the bottom, down here on the right, 220 and 65 hundredths minus 206 and, make that a better 6, and 11 hundredths. Did I say 1/10, 100th, or did I say 11? I said 11, right? Does it really matter how I say that? Because they still mean the same thing? It kind of does, only because with the harder numbers, you got to be able to compact it. So 5 minus 1 is? 4. 6 minus 1 is? My decimal goes straight down every time, straight down. 0 minus 6 is? There you go. So I borrow. My 2 becomes a 1. Make that a 10. Now before, so here's my decimal, right? What place is the 0 in? The 1. What place is the 2 in? So what am I actually borrowing? I'm borrowing from the 2, right? I'm borrowing from the 10. I'm borrowing 10. Remember, that comes back to the 1s. I've got a whole bunch of pennies, or a whole bunch of bags with 1 penny in it. Literally, just 1 penny. The 10s, I've got a whole bunch of bags with just 10 pennies in it. So I don't take anything out of those bags. I only use bags of 10. Only, that's it. My next one, I've got bags of 100. I don't break that down. I only use bags of 100. So I've got 10 minus 6. 1 minus 0. Do I need to borrow again? No. 2 minus 2? 0. Do I have to write my 0? Nope. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So my answer, 14 and 54 hundredths. Do we have any questions? Because if not, I'm going to bounce it to the next thing. Okay? If you need practice work, you have to tell me. Test is Wednesday, just like the quiz is. The test is just longer, but it's the same stuff that we've been doing. So when you get your papers back today, look over them. Find your own mistakes. Find out what it is that you do wrong. Now you know that most of these, I write the answers on there for you. So it's not like I can go, okay, go fix it, give me back the right answer. I want you to go through and find out what you personally are doing wrong, because everybody's got their own little quirks, and figure out how to fix it. Once you recognize it, if you do not know how to fix it, you have to let me know. I will try to come up with a solution. If you have baby problems, you know I'll play with the baby during the test. It doesn't matter. I'll be over here, I don't know what you guys are doing. Alright? So again, do we have any questions on this? Any questions? So we know how to do it, we just need practice at this point. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. And nobody did really horribly bad. Okay? That's not what I'm trying to say. It's like I was just saying, like one person's got this one quirk. I don't know where it came from, but it just popped up. Alright? Some people got the addition and subtraction down pat, like that's done. But for some reason the wording stuff is still messing them up, and that's okay too. Because you don't normally use it. I mean, if you're not writing checks all the time, which like I said before, they're going to nix checks pretty soon. Right? So we won't even have to worry about that. It's going to be like cursive. The only thing you're going to have to do is know how to write your name. But for the moment, to get out of this class, to pass that big test, this is what we got to know. And it's good to know. It is. It is good to know. I like it. We know I'm a dork, but I like it. Okay? Alright. So I'm ending subtraction. And we are moving on to greater than or less than. Whoops. Let me turn this stupid thing off. I think it's already off. Is it off?